Hey, good morning, guys. Welcome to the live stream. We are live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube, and happy Friday, our Friday morning live Q&A. So what the Friday morning stream is all about is taking some questions. So I may not be able to get to all of them, but we'll take a few minutes, and I'll grab a few questions and answer, and hopefully start your voiceover day off on the right foot. So just as you begin to watch the stream this morning, if you would, just put your name, where you're listening or watching from this morning, just do a little check-in. And then what's on your mind regarding voiceover? What questions do you have? What obstacles have you faced? What is it that you don't quite feel that you can get past to get to success if there's something that's standing in your way? And good morning to Josiah. How are you doing this morning? What's up, Bruce in Louisville? Good to have you on the live stream this morning. Thanks for those of you who are checking in and who are watching. And again, we'll take a few minutes and just grab a few questions. And I'll start right here. Mark actually gave me a question yesterday, so I'll just forward this into this morning's chat. And the question is this: do you feel you get a better response from email marketing on certain days of the week, say Tuesday through Thursday? In all honesty, I don't keep a close eye on that when it comes to email marketing, and let me tell you why. Email marketing, one of the benefits of it is that people see it when people see it. Most people look through all their email, especially their business email. So whether you email on a Saturday or on a Sunday or on a Thursday at 3 in the morning, at 3 in the afternoon, I don't think it really matters because people check their email. So let's say you emailed over the weekend. Well, they may see it Monday morning when they come in. Maybe they take Monday off. They'll see it Tuesday when they come in. So I think one of the benefits of email is that it really doesn't matter when you see it. Because, and think of it this way, how many times do you not look at all your email? Because you want to make sure that anything that's business related, anything that you need to see, that you see. Doesn't mean you read everything thoroughly. You may skip through it if it looks not relevant to you. You may delete it. But I think it's probably fair to say that 99.9% of us at least skim through and look through our inbox. So in terms of day, time, I don't think it matters, at least in my experience. Now, when you're making phone calls, that could be a different scenario. And frankly, I don't worry about it all that much because I'm going to work around my voiceover schedule. So in other words, it's when things are slow on my end and I've got the time, that's when I'm going to market. So if I'm going to be doing telephone calls, be prepared, by the way, just to leave a voicemail message, because a lot of these video production companies are smaller operations. Some are a one man or woman operation. Some are 2 or 3. Fewer are the ones where you've got 10, 20, 30 plus people. And oftentimes they're out in the field working. So, always be prepared to leave a message. But I wouldn't spend a whole lot of time worrying about that particular issue. But good question. Let's see here. We've got Doug and Indy. What's up, San Diego? Danny, Chris, Port Huron, Michigan. Okay, Dave in the Big Apple. Awesome. Steve, good morning to you. Matt in Orlando. Lovely, magical city. Hey, what's up, Roy in Chicago? Good to see you on the live stream this morning. Dennis just received his first private invite on voices.com. Dennis, hey, that's the private invites are where it's happening. So congrats on that. Jeremy, good morning from Austin. We've got Doug working on getting rid of his DJ delivery. Well, let's talk about that for just a second because, Doug, I take it you come from a broadcast background, as do I. When you're in radio or broadcasting, it doesn't matter whether it's TV or radio, we mostly operate in one gear. I mean, sure, we may be faster, slower, maybe a little more intense or less intense, but when it comes to voiceover, there's a lot of nuance that has to do with emotion and context, and you're telling stories, and the context can change who you are, where you're at. So it's all about making everything personal. And so when I approach a script, and there's more to it than this, but I think the big thing is when I'm looking at a script, I think I want to do a little self-evaluation. I'm going to look inside and say, okay, Bill, if this is actually you, talking about this product or service or promoting this, or even if you're the training person on this instructional narration, how would given your experience, your point of view, how you feel about this, given the subject matter, how would you approach it? Make it always, always, always make it personal. And think of a time in your life when you were in that situation or felt that way. And if you can generate that feeling before you begin to read, then that will resonate with the listener. It will feel authentic. It will feel real. It will feel believable. And that's what we're after in the end. It's not sounding good. If your main goal in voiceover is to sound better, then it's going to be a long road for you. It's not about sounding better. It's about being believable. That's what gets you hired. Okay. Benton in the Redlands, California. All right, Benton, good to have you here this morning. David in Louisville. It's good to be back after a pesky day job. Oh, man. Don't you hate it when your day job keeps you from being on the live stream in the morning? I know. I get that. Hey, Bets in Madison, Wisconsin, how you doing? Janet in Fleming Island, Florida. All right. Michael in Connecticut. Matt, do I have any guidance for marketing internationally? I approach marketing internationally pretty much the way that I approach marketing, to clients or prospective clients across the street. I approach it all the same way. And the beautiful thing is this, is that English is the international business language. So you're going to find demand for English-speaking voices literally everywhere in the world. I mean, if I look at my client list, I'm going to find people in almost every nook and cranny of the globe. So I really don't approach it any differently. The messaging is the same. I don't worry about time that if I'm doing email marketing, I don't worry about that. That's the beauty of it. I mean, they'll see it when they get to their email. So my guidance on that, my advice would be, don't look at it really any differently. You don't have to worry about the fact that you don't speak that language. You're an English-speaking voiceover talent. I mean, if you're multilingual, then, kudos to you. That gives you more marketability, and that's great. You should certainly, focus on that and leverage that. But generally speaking, no, I just approach it exactly the same thing. So don't let if anything's been holding you back, Matt, just go for it. Just introduce yourself, point him to your demo, and then let the demo do the work for you. Lovato in South Carolina, one of my favorite states. I love the Palmetto State. I just, since we started spending time there, Hilton Head specifically, I just absolutely love it down there. Guy in St. Louis, what's up? Andy's in Bristol, UK. Awesome. Or good afternoon to you, Andy. All right. Okay, so here's a good question. What are your thoughts about pay-to-play sites? And when we say pay-to-play sites, we're talking about platforms that give you the opportunity to audition for a fee. For instance, Voices.com, Voice123, The Voice Realm, there are Buldago, there are a few others as well. Well, I think they can be an effective marketing channel. When I approach marketing, I like to use the metaphor of a wheel with spokes. A stable wheel, if you want a smooth, dependable ride, you need multiple spokes. If you only have one spoke, then that's going to guarantee a bumpy, difficult ride. And if you're only depending on a pay-to-play site or a couple pay-to-play sites, in my opinion, that can be a really difficult, unpredictable way to build a voiceover business. But I think it's important that when you get to the play, I think first of all, you need to have some experience. I think you need to have professionally produced demos. I don't think it's the best place for people who are newer at this. I'm not saying it can't work for you. There are people who have success with that. But generally speaking, it's the deeper end of the pond, And so you're going to be competing against some pretty good folk. And where that plays in is it starts to play on your psyche. If you're newer and you're not as competitive yet and you're auditioning and that's your primary strategy, it can feel after 500 auditions that whatever made you think you could do this to begin with? I mean, that's the thought that begins to go through your mind. And I know because I've been there. So be prepared to do a lot of auditioning to get, a job. Um, here's the thing. I don't do cattle call auditioning any longer on pay to play sites because when I look at the time spent to do that, and by the way, I booked a ton of, a lot of money. A lot of my money I make today are clients that I've cultivated that I've got through auditioning and competing on pay to play sites. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that. But what I am saying is now I've been very effective in my direct marketing and other marketing channels that I can make more money focusing on other things other than the time auditioning all the time. Now I'm on there and I pick up, private auditions, which are a different story altogether. And I think, that's an important strategy to have. But just beware that you could do a lot of auditions just to get one job. So again, not saying you shouldn't do it, but understand that. Don't let it play with your psyche and make sure you've got other marketing channels as well. Hey, Ryder, how are you doing? All right. Alan in Texas. Good morning from Midland. Hey, Doug, how you doing? Dennis says, thank you, Bill. Your videos have been a huge help. Oh, Dennis, great. Thank you for the feedback. I appreciate that and glad things are moving along for you. Hey, Dory in Maryland, how you doing? Tess in Atlanta. Yeah, just drove through Atlanta a couple of days ago to get back from Florida. Man, it's funny because, and I've been to Atlanta, I don't know how many times over the course of my life, and I've done a lot of business, flown through Atlanta, done a lot of business in Atlanta, but I don't remember Atlanta being that big. I mean, it's always been big, but I just don't remember it sprawling out as much, and I know it's growing. But driving through downtown, it was like, wow, it just kept going and going and going. It's there's a lot happening in Atlanta. I know. I should get out more. I understand. Hey, Doug is reconciling logs right now, which tells me you work in broadcasting. All right, Doug. Yeah, good deal. Thanks for being on this morning. Anis from Saudi Arabia. Good morning. Good to have you on the stream this morning. Let's see here. Is there any way to get feedback for a person who has been training his voice and recorded some self-made demos, come from a singing/rap background, or should I just upload what I've done so far? Well, yeah, I mean, you should get with a coach, And by the way, for those of you who are interested in my coaching services, and I probably should have mentioned this up front, if you go look into the description below and you'll see links, you'll see email. My email is training@billdeweese.com. I produce demos, coach, all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, you need some feedback, whether it's for me or somebody else. Music or no music on a demo? Well, you need demos that are fully produced with music. Those are going to be your primary demos, your professionally produced demos. And you should also, whenever, like when I'm producing a demo for somebody, I provide them with the dry voice version of that as well, because there are some people that you work with, some production companies who will want to put you in a roster, so their clients can choose from among their own handpicked talent. Some will want a few, not most, but some will want the dry voice, meaning no music. So when you work with a producer, make sure you get the dry voice tracks as well, because some people will want that. Bongani from South Africa, good morning to you. 30-second versus 60-second demo. Well, when it comes to compilation demo, I'm still a 60-second guy. I get it. I know people are saying more and more, shorter attention spans. Some people are going to the 30-second demo. And if you're working with an agency that requires that, then by all means do a 30-second edited demo. But I still like to do 7 or 8 on a commercial demo, 7 or 8 spots on a 60-second demo, and then make sure that the first 3 selections are giving the broadest snapshot of your capabilities in terms of, emotionally. You want the broadest range, with this end, that end, and maybe something in the middle. Because most people are never going to get to 30 seconds. You need to realize that. But the people who really like what they hear yeah, they're going to listen to the entire demo, but you'll be lucky if you get 5 seconds out of most people. They listen to demos like they listen to the radio. They scan. Listen, no, listen, no, listen, no, listen. Oh yeah, I like that. It's just like scanning for songs on the radio. Okay, good. Kevin in Knuckletown. Let's see here. Patricia, Buffalo. Miss D says, should you do breathing lessons to become a voice actor? Um, hmm. No, not necessarily. I'm not big on the technical. If you've ever worked with me on a coaching from a standpoint, um, I'm not highly technical. I focus on the psyche part of it, because the technical, not that it's not important, that's 5% of the equation. 95% of the equation is, how do you make somebody feel when they hear you? Do they believe you? And that doesn't come from diaphragm exercises. So again, not to say that it might not be helpful to you. Um, so no, I don't know that you need it. If you feel like you're short of breath and you have a hard time working your way through a well-written sentence, then maybe you need to do some diaphragm breathing, and you can build that muscle up on your own. You don't necessarily need to do lessons for that, though. When I talk about marketing channels, the question is, what am I talking about? Well, any place that you might look for work. Sure, it could be social media, it could be direct marketing, phone calls, emails. It could be, there's tons of talent rosters out there where people who do a high volume of commercial work for TV and radio, and they keep their own rosters of talent. It could be talent agents. There's a number of ways to do that. Those are off the top of my head, some big ones. YouTube somehow brought me here today. So hi from New York. Well, good. I'm glad YouTube brought you here, and welcome. We do this every weekday morning, so I hope you'll make it a part of your morning routine. Oh, let's do one more, and then we'll go off our separate ways to do our voiceover work for today. And Bruce says, do you ask the client for direction first, or do you do your own interpretation of the script? Um, I don't. I'm trying to think if I ever actually ask for direction. Here's the thing. People are going to, it's interesting because there are some clients who will give you more direction than you could possibly ever incorporate into a read. They've got 25 adjectives and descriptors. They've got 5 uh, voice actor or actor references. They have 7 YouTube videos for you to watch, and that can get into your head. I will, if they give me direction, I'll look at it. If they don't, I typically don't ask for it. What I do, and here's the most important thing, I look at the script. The script will usually tell me most of what I want. Now, if they have a video that goes with it and I can see that, that's helpful. If they have a music bed they're going to use with it that I can hear, that's going to be helpful too, because that will illuminate a lot of what's required emotionally of the script. But I look at the script, and so I can see what the context is as best I can. And then I approach it honestly. In other words, if this is my experience, how do I feel about it? How would I react? How would I respond to this thing that I'm dealing with or talking about in real life? And that's when I started doing that. And it took me a number of years to figure that out, because I used to try to follow every bit of advice and direction a client gave me. Once I started, I won't say totally disregarding it, but making that secondary and focusing on what I thought it needed based on me and my personality, I did so much better. I started booking so much more work because it was honest and it was believable. Before, it's just me trying to sound like what they wanted me to sound like. And when you start to focus on sound, that's when you're dead. You can't focus on sound. You have to focus on feel. And that can make all the difference in the world. Well, guys, like I said, I need to get into my voiceover day, and hopefully you guys do as well. But thanks for being here. I appreciate it. I'm here most every weekday morning, Monday through Friday, right around 8-ish, give or take. I may sleep in a little bit sometimes, like I did this morning. But thanks for being here. I hope you'll check in as often as you can. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.